Ever wonder how you can break into one of the most exciting fields out there today? Well, you are in exactly the right place. In the next few minutes, we're going to lay out the whole thing, an adventurer's map, really, to becoming a data scientist by 2026.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question about something pretty much all of us use every single day. You finish binging a show, and boom, a new recommendation pops up that feels, well, perfect. How on earth does that happen?
You guessed it. It's not some kind of magic trick or lucky guess. It is a super calculated prediction. And it's all powered by the work of what I like to call a modern-day oracle, the data scientist.
So let's officially kick off our quest. First things first, we need to understand what this job is all about and why it's become so incredibly important. Okay, so here's the absolute key difference, and you got to get this. A data analyst tells you the story of what happened yesterday, but a data scientist uses that same story to predict what's probably going to happen tomorrow. They're basically the fortune tellers of the business world. They just use mathematical models instead of a crystal ball.
And this whole predicting the future thing, it solves some huge real-world problems. I mean, think about it. Using predictive analytics, a company can figure out which customers are about to cancel their subscription and maybe offer them a deal. They use optimization to find the absolute fastest, most efficient route to get your package to your doorstep. And of course, they use personalization to power those recommendation engines that almost seem to know you better than you know yourself.
And what about the reward for mastering all these skills? Let's talk about the treasure at the end of this quest because, wow, it's significant. As you can see from this chart, which shows the salary in Indian lakhs per year, the pay just skyrockets with experience. From entry level right up to senior roles, the value companies place on these predictive skills is huge, making data scientists some of the best paid people in tech, period. Okay, so the rewards are pretty clear, but to get there, you've got to choose your path. It's kind of like picking your character class in a video game, because the world of data isn't one size fits all. There are different roles with very different missions. This table just lays it all out perfectly. Think of it like this. The data analyst is the historian who tells you why you won the last battle. The data scientist is the oracle who tells you how you can win the next one. And the machine learning engineer? They're the blacksmith who actually forges that winning strategy into a real weapon that the entire army or, millions of app users can actually use. So you've picked your class, awesome. Now it's time to pack your adventurer's toolkit. Every great journey requires the right gear, so let's take a look at the absolute must-have skills and technologies you're going to need.
Looking at all the possible tools you could learn can be, well, pretty overwhelming. So to make it way more manageable, we can break the entire learning path down into 4 clear, logical pillars. Let's just think of these as the main levels of our quest.
Every adventure starts with a single step, and for us, that's the foundation. You can think of it as learning the local language. Python is that flexible, powerful language you'll use to do all your analysis and modeling. But before you can analyze anything, you have to actually get the data, and that's where SQL comes in. It is the universal key for unlocking information from pretty much any database out there.
Once you've got the languages down, you need to master the logic. This is the math and stats that keeps you from making, huge mistakes. It's what lets you say with confidence that a result isn't just a random fluke through something like hypothesis testing. Or it helps you understand how a recommendation engine groups similar people together using ideas from linear algebra. This is basically the rule book for all the magic that's about to happen. And now for the magic, machine learning itself. Okay, this is where you learn to build the actual models that make the predictions. You'll learn regression to forecast things like sales numbers, classification to predict if an email is spam or not, and clustering to find natural groups of customers hidden in your data. This is where your data really starts to tell you about the future.
And finally, we've got to talk about the future. Let's be real, to be a top data scientist in 2026, you absolutely have to know how to work with AI. This means learning prompt engineering to get what you want out of large language models. You'll be using tools like LangChain to build apps on top of these models, and you'll need to understand things like vector databases, which are specially built for modern AI systems. Seriously, this part is no longer optional. It's the new frontier. All right, so having all the right tools in your backpack is one thing, but, an adventurer is really defined by their deeds. Now it's time to prove your skills, to forge your legend, and show everyone what you can actually do. And you forge that legend by building a portfolio. Your goal should be about 3 to 5 really high-quality projects that tell a complete story. Start with an interesting data set, ask a good question, analyze it to find some insights, and then build a model that makes a prediction. That whole process, all documented on your GitHub profile, becomes your resume. It is undeniable proof of what you can do.
So here's the thing. Your technical skills might get you the interview, but it's your soft skills that are going to get you the job and help you succeed. Being able to explain your complex analysis to someone who doesn't write code, that's called data storytelling. And trust me, it's just as important as the analysis itself.
And this right here, this is probably the single most important piece of advice you will get for any data science interview. Anybody can memorize what an algorithm does, but the true expert, the person who actually gets hired, is the one who can clearly explain why they chose that specific tool for that specific business problem. It's all about the why.
We've explored the world, we've defined the role, and we've gathered our tools. Now, let's put it all together. Here it is, a clear, actionable map for your 12-month quest to become a data scientist.
This timeline really brings it all home, breaking it down into a 12-month plan you can actually follow. Notice how the first 4 months are all about the fundamentals and just handling data. That's on purpose. You can't do the cool stuff without a solid base. The middle of your year, months 5 through 9, is when you go deep into machine learning and modern AI. And crucially, you finish by building your portfolio, turning all that knowledge into real, tangible proof of your skills.
So, there you have it. The complete adventurer's map to becoming a data scientist by 2026. The path is clear, the tools are all laid out, and the treasure is definitely waiting. The only question left is, when does your adventure begin?